Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another video here on this Esoteric Circle YouTube channel. Wherever you are at on your journey, blessings to you. It is wonderful having you here with me tonight. And I wanted just to talk about an encounter that I had with someone not too long ago. They had Alzheimer's. And this person said, "I know who this is," pointed at his body and his face. He said, "I know who this is, but I don't know who I am." And I sat there and I was just absolutely stunned at how profound that was and how honest that was. And I thought, I can do no better than that. That was so deep. Let's talk about that. As I continue to awaken during this apocalypse, I realize how precious time is. More and more, how precious time is. And I am surrounded by things that I have wanted to do and projects and things I want to write. I have all these things that I want to get done, right? And then I see people who are suffering from dementia, different forms of dementia like Alzheimer's. And I realize how quickly things fall apart and how they fade. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be someone who has regrets. I don't want to be someone who did not work while it's daylight. And, your time here is so fleeting. Do you feel that? I feel that. I feel how precious each moment is. And as we study Moraviev and our group, and now we're getting into different Christianity, realize how precious time is. And this doctrine of the present is so vital a thought for me, and how you must want this awakening more than you want anything else. And I want to ask you that question. Do you want this that badly? How badly do you want to awaken? I heard this story the other day. This is in many different forms, it's told. But a young man was seeking enlightenment, and he had heard about this guy in this village far off in the hills who was someone that people would go to, and they would be taught, kind of like an Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Going and searching a Yoda, like Luke Skywalker did, right? And so he went to him, and he said to this sage, this starets, as they call in Russia, "I want to know what you know. I want you to teach me. I'll do anything." He said, "You'll do anything?" He said, "Okay. You'll do anything," he said to the young man. The young man said, "Yes, I'll do anything." "All right, tomorrow night, I want you to meet me on the beach near my cottage. I want you to meet me there at 11:59 at night, on the dot." He turned around and walked off. So the young man said, "All right, I'm going to do this." So the next night, he got there a half an hour early on the beach, right by his cottage, right where he said he was. And the sage was there, the starets was there, the Obi-Wan Kenobi was there waiting for him. And he said, "I've been here an hour. I've been waiting for you." He said, "But I was early." He said, "I've still been waiting for you." All right, so that didn't frustrate him at all. So he's like, "All right, now I want you to take your shoes and socks off," he said. He's like, "Okay." And he said, "I want you to walk with me out into the waves here." And it was at it's midnight in this coastline. And he walks out into the water, and it's freezing cold. He gets out into the water, it gets knee deep, and the waves are starting to hit him. And the old man is there with him, And then he says, all right, let's continue to move out. And they continue to walk out into the water. And he turns around and he looks at the kid, and it's all, it's darkness. He looks at the kid, takes him, and he says, all right, are you ready? He says, yes. He says, I'm going to put your head underwater, and then I'm going to bring it back up. He says, okay. Puts his head underwater, and the old man doesn't let him up right away. And the young man's like, okay, and he's underwater, and he's holding his breath. He's underwater, and he's holding his breath. And the old man keeps him under, and he starts to thrash, and he starts to struggle, and he starts to wonder if this guy's trying to kill him. And he's starting to really struggle, and he's trying to break free. All of a sudden, the old man pulls him up out of the water, and he said to him, until you want this awakening like you wanted air just then, you will not get it. How badly do you want it? How motivated are you to be awakened at a time like this? At a time when we have so many issues, so many problems that are going on in the world. And you are being asked to go inward at a time when everyone is scrambling, right? For meaning, for food, for money, for security, for identity, all kinds of things going on. And it's gonna get worse. How badly do you want this? You have to want this more than you want air. This awakening. And in order to want this badly, that purification stage, that second stage, it's the awakening, purification, illumination, and then the theosis, right? When you get into that purification stage and you begin to work on your chief feature and you begin to work on the issues that you have that make you who you are, and you begin to ask yourself, all right, I've got a name. This is who I think I am. Until you get to a point when you're like, I really don't know who I am. I'm a lot of things. I'm a lot of people. I wear a lot of masks. Until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Until you get sick and tired of wearing a mask all day long and playing a part and just being a bit part in everyone's movie. Until you get sick and tired of that, this awakening is not going to happen. And this purification stage will halt you. I used to be a huge fan of Soren Kierkegaard. And one time I was reading, I don't even know which book it was, but an Orthodox priest, one of the writers of this book, said, one of the issues with Kierkegaard was that he was stuck in the purification stage. So Kierkegaard writes all this stuff and is an absolute genius, and yet he emotionally was undeveloped or underdeveloped. I didn't know him. I don't know. But he was stuck in the stage of purification. He could write about Abraham giving up Isaac in fear and trembling. He could write about all these things, but he could not go ahead with this. He did not want it more than he wanted air. Kierkegaard, right? You have to want this. How badly do you want it? In the introduction to Robin's Different Christianity, which we've started studying on our Discord channel, and you can join in anytime. So just send me a comment if you're interested. He writes this: once read, understood, and accepted, these basic principles and the commandments or rules that accompany them form the foundation of the whole process. They lead, although normally not without a struggle, not without a strong resistance from past habits, to a true reversal of direction in the reader, bringing the catechumen to the threshold, the point of entry of the path of transformation, the path of metanoia. But to enter the path of metanoia is to seek to pass through the straight gate of the gospel. And quote, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God, from Matthew 19:24. Its import is so difficult, it demands such efforts, such struggles by those who try to apply it, that instead it is often rejected. If this principle were accepted by enough people so that we could say that it was once again understood by the churches, especially at the present time, it could only lead to a true change of direction by those churches. If understood at the basic level, it could lead to the creation of methods suited to modern individuals and to the situation in which we live. If assimilated by Western civilization at large, which would only happen if many individuals came to understand it and its importance, it might even change the direction of that civilization. In order to change a civilization as messed up as ours is, and as headed in the wrong direction as ours is, the change starts with each individual person. Each of us needs to think of our own life as an unhealthy cell in a body, and we have the opportunity to get healthy. We need to find out what our mind is filled with, what we want to get rid of and what we want to keep, and we want to cleanse that mind, cleansing the noose, and then we want to give that back to God. We want to make that cell in the body of civilization. We want to make that cell healthy, and each individual person gets healthy. And if that happens with enough people, civilization begins to heal. Creation begins to heal. The environment begins to heal. It all starts with you, and you have to want it more than you want air. It's not enough for you to say, this is my name, this is who I am. Who are you? Don't wait until you have Alzheimer's before you sit there and say, I don't know who I am now. You don't know who you are right now, and you don't have Alzheimer's, right? I don't know. I need to find this out. We need to work on ourselves, and you have to want this. There has to be a work ethic involved in this process of awakening. You can't just do this because it's cool, or it's the thing to do, or it makes you feel smart or holy. That's my problem. I like to look smart and holy. But when it comes right down to it, I don't know who I am, and I won't accept that. And I have to continue to want this, right? So when I wake up in the middle of the night and I think I should meditate, and I go back to sleep, that bothers me. I need to get up when I think of it in the night, and I need to meditate. And when I feel like praying during the day, I need to pray. When I feel, you've got to work at this. You've got to work at this, and you have to want it more than you want air. This takes a work ethic, and it takes diligent work. And this is what separates us. So many people fall off because they don't have the foundation. And it's built. We have to build this up, right? We have to build this energy up to melt all those metal filings, as Moravia says, into one block. We have to, as the Gerasene demoniac, we have to collect ourselves and allow Christ to bring us all together and heal our minds by healing our past, releasing that karmic burden, and being purified so we can move on to that illumination stage and then theosis. That's what this is about. But it takes drive. It takes determination. You have to have a work ethic. Do you want this more than you want air? That's your question. You have to want this. Go for it. And develop structure within your life so that you have this work ethic. You work at it and you do it over and over and over again. The world needs you. The world needs you. God needs you. God needs you to be healthy. Blessings to you. No matter where you are at, you are important to this world and you are loved. I'll see you soon.